What's up, guys? So, on today's video, we'll be discussing about Spiti Valley in February 2026, what you should be expecting in terms of the weather, the road condition, the places that you should be visiting, the overall budget that you need to have while traveling to Spiti Valley in February, and most of all, is it a good time to be going to Spiti Valley in February? Remember that Feb 2026 is the peak of winter in Himachal Pradesh. Winter has arrived late this year, so by default, you can expect it to be snowing in Spiti Valley in the month of February. So, when you're planning your road trip to Spiti Valley in February, keep in mind that the daytime temperature will range from anywhere between, I would say, -5 to -10 or 15 degrees C. And you've heard me right, in negative. The temperature in the night will range anywhere between -20 to -35. This entirely depends on where you're staying. In villages like Dankar, Komik, Langza, it will touch -35 in the night because it's extremely cold and windy over here. Snowfall is going to be extremely frequent. So make sure that you have an umbrella and you have a jacket which can keep you safe and sound in the snow, because when it snows, it might seem all cute, but at the same time, when the snow melts on your body because of your body temperature, it's going to become water, and that's going to be really cold water that you do not want your jacket to be getting wet in this high altitude weather. Acclimatizing for this trip is important. So if you're booking a trip which is for 7, 8, 9, 10 days, it's very important that you come at least a couple of days earlier to Himachal and acclimatize. It's ideal to acclimatize in places like Shimla, Narkanda, depending on where your trip is starting from, but acclimatize well so that you have enough of rest before you start your journey. Remember that planning a rush trip to Spiti Valley in February is not at all even an option, because it can be very dangerous. You can fall sick and you can even die in Spiti Valley if you get altitude sickness. It is that scary and that treacherous, I would say. Now, when it comes to the accessibility, the only road that is open is via Shimla and Kinnaur Valley. There is no way you can reach Spiti Valley from Manali. That road is completely shut off. So, if you're someone who's planning on going to Spiti Valley with the hopes of visiting and exploring snow covered Pangong Taso Lake, drop that idea. It's pretty much impossible for you to be reaching Spiti Valley in winter, and reaching, I would say, Chandratal through Spiti Valley in winter. The Manali Kaza road is completely shut. The maximum that you might be able to go to is till Losar, not beyond that. The Border Road Organization will not allow you to venture beyond that part. Now, Spiti Valley through the Shimla route is easily accessible, but that again depends on the snowfall. If there's heavy snowfall, the road will be shut off at Sumdov. Beyond that, you will not be able to go. Even sometimes reaching Nako in heavy winter is a tricky situation, and not everyone makes it all the way to Spiti Valley in February. So, when you're planning a trip to Spiti Valley in February, just make sure that you have at least, I would say, 2 to 3 days buffer on your trip. Having a tight trip which has very limited time is going to be a very tricky situation. So, if your trip is, like I mentioned earlier, for 7 or 8 or 9 days, book 2 days in the start and 2 days at the back end of your trip so that you do not miss your return train or flight onwards to your home city. This way, you are not jeopardizing losing money and having to book the same ticket at double the cost, maybe last minute if you're booking a flight. Now, what is the kind of gear that you need? You definitely need thick woolens. You need, I would say, a good bodysuit inside. That is your thermals. You need a very good sleeping bag that can withstand -35. You will get blankets, but having a sleeping bag is mandatory. You need UV protected sunglasses. Without that, it's going to be really impossible. And you definitely need your power bank, because a power bank is a lifesaver with the frequent power cuts. Network in Spiti Valley is up and down in winter. If it is a heavy snowfall day, the network will go away. But overall, Airtel and Jio work relatively very well. You even have 4G and 5G of these two networks when there is no heavy snowfall in this part. Remember, carry enough of cash, because going to an ATM in winter will be tricky. And at the same time, carry shoes which have very good grip. Do not come with normal shoes which have bad grip, or your gym shoes, because those will slide and slip and you can end up falling and even having a head injury, which is not ideal at this particular high temperature, high altitude and cold temperature. Now, when it comes to the accommodation, keep in mind that there are no luxury accommodations in Spiti Valley. So, by default, homestays are your only option. Most travel agencies will take you and make you stay in Casa and then do day trips to all other places. That's one option. If you want an offbeat experience, you'll have to stay in the villages. We at Tlow do have offbeat winter experiences to Spiti Valley, which will make you stay in remote villages of Langza, Dankar, and so on. If you're interested, you can click on the link in the description and go straight to our website where you'll get all the details related to our trip. You can book directly, or you can contact our sales team who will guide you through the booking process. Now, remember, one very important factor is that Spiti Valley is an high altitude cold desert. So the daytime, if you feel is cold, the nights will be bitterly and terribly cold. So just make sure that at all cost you're carrying a thermos with you. A thermos is very important so that you can have hot water throughout the night to drink in case you fall sick or you start feeling that you'll fall sick. Make sure that you have your medicines with you because they are a lifesaver. Carry cough syrups or strepsils, any kind of lozenges, carry plenty of them just in case you or someone in your group has a bad cold. This will come very handy. Now, the golden rule in Spiti Valley to avoid falling sick in winter, I would suggest, is to avoid having a bath in the nights or in the day. If you're going for a trip, just try to avoid having a bath as much as you can. The lesser you have a bath, the higher the probability of you staying fit and healthy. Because what happens when you have a bath in this cold temperature is that you end up falling sick because your body cannot catch up to the temperature fluctuation that happens after and before you have a bath. Because removing your clothes in this cold temperature just to feel better and less temperamental because you've not had a bath as compared to what it is in the city will really leave you stranded and high and dry. So my personal recommendation is avoid having a bath in cold weather. Now at the same time, remember that your accommodation is limited, electricity is limited. So, traveling to Spiti Valley, I would say, is ideally for people who have already done a summer trip to Spiti Valley and now want to explore and experience the winter side, the white side of Spiti Valley. So it's a level two kind of a road trip. It is not a road trip for beginners. Now, for all those who are planning on taking a biking trip to Spiti Valley, it is not an option. Biking in Spiti Valley is not at all going to be possible. The roads are covered in snow, and the border road organization are not going to let you go through because it's extremely dangerous and risky for your life and the life of your well wishers. If you're planning a self drive trip, make sure that you have at least two people in your group who can drive in this kind of treacherous condition, and make sure that you'll have, I would say, chains for all four of your tires because without chains, it's going to be impossible to navigate through this tricky and precarious journey on this road. Now, there are plenty of hospitals and healthcare centers in major places like Tabo and I would say even at Kaza. So if you feel that someone in your group or you are feeling sick, just go directly to the medical center because it's better to go to the medical center when you're feeling sick rather than going there when you're already down and out. Now, for all those who have any queries related to their personal travel to Spiti Valley in winter, you can leave a comment in the comment section and we'll be more than happy to guide you through the process of booking with us. Or if you have any personal queries, leave a comment and we'll reply to your comment section in the comment section. If you want personal guidance, you'll have to book a consultation, which is a paid service. Now, remember, Spiti Valley in winter, the best places that you can visit are Tabo, Kaza, I would say Hikim, Komik, Langza. Hikim is the highest post office. You can spend a night in Kibar, you can spend a night in Dankar. Going to Dankar Lake is impossible in winter. Do not even try going there, it's going to be extremely dangerous. The visuals that you can see in this video are exactly like what Spiti Valley will look like. So do not try to push your limits because there's a very fine line between bravery and stupidity when you're traveling in the Himalayas. And in the winters, it is ideal not to risk it beyond the usual. Now carry minimum, I would say, per person of 10,000 rupees cash with you so that in case worst case scenario your UPI doesn't work because the network is down, you do have cash to buy any kind of provisions that you need. Do not overpack because whatever you carry extra, you will have to roam around with it, and carrying extra luggage is going to be a nightmare. At the same time, do not underpack in terms of your woolen wear because that's your lifesaver. and carry woolen socks, along with the fact that carry garbage bags. So whatever clothes are wet of yours, you can put them in a garbage bag and keep them sealed till